If you guys are just tuning in, we're going to wait just a second. Let some more folks join us, and then we'll get started. Let me see this. Dashboard. There we go. All right. If you guys are just joining us, welcome to another year of Oregon Cascades 100, and this year our new race, which is the 50-mile race. So we're pretty excited to be offering another distance as well. We are going to wait. It looks like we have about 50 people, so we're wait just a couple of minutes and see if a few more people will join us, and then we'll get started. So we're going to go through a few things with first, and then we'll do question and answer afterwards this time. So if you joined us last year, we tried to answer as we went, which was a little chaotic. So we'll do it at the end. Let's get started with thank yous.
All right, we'll get started here. Again, thanks for coming for the fourth running of Oregon Cascades 100. Just a shout out to some of our volunteers that are helping us out this year. Just know that you're going to be supported, well supported at each of the aid stations. So we have a lot of veteran 100-mile finishers at many of the aid stations. So at aid station 1, I'm just going to run off, just briefly announce who's at the aid stations. But aid station 1, there's Brandon and a number of folks there. At aid station 2-8, Rock Creek, Taylor Spike and his family, and a few other folks there. Aid station 3, they've helped out at each of our previous races. That's Brian and Devin. And then aid station 4, there's Elevated Racing, a local race director based outside of Eugene, who puts on the Oak Ridge Triple Summit Challenge.
Devin,
as well as
he's racing.
A few other folks from his team, and then aid station 4, the crazy bunch from Vantucky and Y Racing. Shout out to them. They've helped us out at each of our race, each of the previous year's races. Aid station 6, there's Katie Holk and Common Ground and Aaron. They've done that aid station. This is their
every
year. Aid station 7, there's Adidas, and then Richard. He is the inspiration for us to change the hour or the cutoff time at the finish to 32 hours, 1 minute and 18 seconds. He was the 74-year-old who finished the race 2 years ago. So aid station 9, there's Bobby Joe, Ken Sinclair. They've done that aid station, I think, every year now. So they're kind of well versed up there.
They were Barbie last year.
Yeah, they were Barbie last year. Aid station 10, which is 15-14. That's Crook County High School cross country team. So live bunch there. Aid station 11 and 12, that's Sisters Trail Alliance. They manage the trails outside of Sisters. And then there's the hydration only aid station. Nobody's going to be there. And then aid station 14, that's Wonderland running. Sean Harriser and his crew, they put on, they just had their race, their 100-mile race.
Last weekend?
Yeah, last weekend, Dark Divide, and he's got a bunch of other races. So shout out to them. So it takes a village to get this race up and going. And, you know, there's other volunteers helping behind the scenes. Mike Bielemeyer, he's helping us do a lot of the kind of the behind the scenes logistics and everything. And so shout out to him. We're going to be putting him to work for probably 72 hours straight. So
He hasn't quit on this yet.
No, he hasn't quit. So he's a good friend of ours. Shout out to the sponsors, Spring Energy, Gnarly, Back Porch Coffee, Adidas. I'm sure I'm forgetting some others. And then obviously a shout out to the U.S. Forest Service for supporting this event. They know it's grown, and they allowed us to add the 50-mile event. That took a few months for them to kind of decide on it, but in the end they did approve it. So we're thankful for them for supporting the race. And then our beneficiaries, we got the Crook County cross country team, and then the Ridgeview cross country team, which Janessa is the head coach of. The team will be at bid pickup, and then a few of the girls will be at, I think they're going to be at Park Meadow with Bobby, Joe, and Ken. And then STA is another big beneficiary. Further shout outs go out to CODA, Central Oregon Trail Alliance. They kind of manage the bunch of the trails, the first roughly 50 miles of the course, 55 miles of the course that you're going to be running. And then on the sister side, it's kind of a mixture of Sisters Trail Alliance, us, who clear the trails kind of on that side of the kind of the course. So a shout out specifically, I was going to cover that later, but I guess the shout out goes to Paul, good friend of ours. He'll be running the 50-mile. And Arthur, he's with STA, and Brandon for helping clear the trails this year. They weren't as bad, luckily, as last year, but still significant blowdown, but nothing terrible.
And then do you want to wait till course to go over what
Yep.
might be still down out there?
Yep.
And why? Okay. Awesome. Well, let's get into check-in, which is so check-in will be Friday night. It's the 23rd at Sisters Middle School. You guys, there's no bib pickup race morning, so make sure that you come on Friday to get your bibs. So we will not have bibs race morning at the start at Pacific Crest Middle School in Bend. So make sure that you come on Friday between 4 and 7 at Sisters Middle School. You'll get your bib there. I sent out an email earlier today about Pacers. So Pacers need to sign a waiver. You guys they can sign on Ultra Sign Up. That's the easiest way. And you guys, they don't need to come to bib pickup. If you have someone that's just going to join you later, you're welcome to pick up their bibs there. And then we will have some waivers if somebody comes at the last minute and didn't end up signing up on Ultra Sign Up. That's fine. They can just come to Sisters and sign a waiver. You can grab it for them. So we should have all that stuff in there for them. Race morning, the 100-mile check-in. So this will be a little bit different this year. We are using spot trackers for live tracking with track leaders. If you've ever watched Hard Rock, for instance, they use those. So I'll be sending you guys out some information in the coming weeks on if you've never used one of those. Best thing that they can be is if you have a hydration pack on, and they're the smaller spots, and they're going to be on your shoulder. Every now and then they'll dip out if you go, really low, like into tree cover, but that's the best place for them. They don't work so well in a pocket, but again, I will be sending out some information, some pictures, that kind of stuff, and more about that. However, so we're picking up bibs on Friday night. 100-mile check-in at the start at Pacific Crest is only to pick up your spot. So between 4:30 and 5:45, the race starts at 6. I need everybody to come and just, we'll have them all laid out on a table. You can come up, we'll have some volunteers there, and we'll get you your spot for the tracking. And that is just for the 100-mile race. The 50-mile will just be chip timing. So you guys do not need to be picking up a spot. That's for safety, is also just for live tracking. As this race has continued to grow, I think that will be something that's helpful for your crew to know kind of where you're at, when to show up to aid stations, that kind of thing, plus just safety for us to keep track of everybody on the course. Drop bags are due on Friday night by 7 p.m. So you can't bring them to the start. So make sure between 4 and 7 that when you're picking up your bib and checking in that you're bringing your drop bags. Those need to be labeled with your name, the drop bag. We'll go over a few things about that. So just drop off those on Friday. I went over Pacers. Pacers can sign the waiver at bib pickup, or again, easiest thing you can do is just have them sign up. They don't need an account with Ultra Sign Up to do it. They can do it as a guest. Parking. So no parking is allowed at Pat Crest Middle School, which is the start of the race. You can show up early, but you cannot leave a car there because we pack up and we clean up everything, and then we go to Sisters, or we'll be starting the 50 miles. So we won't be there, and we don't have permission to leave cars there. So new this year, if you've run with us before, we are offering for solo runners or those that don't have crew or whatever, a shuttle. So we will be shuttling the 100-mile runners and as well as 50-mile runners this year from Sisters Middle School to the start locations. So best thing you can do if you're driving is if you're solo, is park your car at Sisters Middle School at the finish and take the shuttle to the start. So if you're a 100-mile runner, you can purchase a shuttle ticket. It's on Ultra Sign Up. It's on the little store. And I sent out the link today. If you check your email, you'll get it. You can do that. If you didn't do that during checkout before when you were registering, you can do that. 100-mile shuttle is going to leave at 4:30. And the 50-mile shuttle, which is included, if you're a 50-mile runner, you do not need to purchase a shuttle ticket. So we assume that you want to ride to the start. However, if you are local, you are welcome to be dropped off at the 50-mile start, which is Swampy Lakes. So that shuttle is going to leave at 8:30. That may be, I think that everything has been updated there. So best thing, like I said, if you don't have crew, and you can drive to the start, just don't leave a car, at the whole time you're racing at Pat Crest Middle School. I think that's it for that. So before we had a shuttle, sometimes people would drive to the start, leave their car when they weren't supposed to, or nearby, and just hope that they could get a Uber or a taxi out of Sisters and maybe get, back to Bend somehow, or maybe another crew or runner. Please do not rely on an Uber or a taxi on a Sunday in Sisters. It's very difficult. This is not, it's still a little, even though it's, a popular place, it would not be easy to get a taxi or an Uber. So make sure that you're kind of paying attention to that and not just saying, I'll just drive somewhere in Bend, park nearby, and hopefully I'll get a ride back to my car, because that could be very unlikely. So either just take the shuttle, which is your best bet, or have your crew bring you. Either one. So next we're going to just chat real quick about the course.
So I've already mentioned the clearing of trails and the thanks there. So we're kind of known to overmark our courses. However, we can't guarantee that the course markings that we place will remain there. And it's happened maybe on a few occasions where some marking's been removed or a course sign has been changed. So that's why we recommend everybody download the course onto their phone or their watch or some type of device, so they can, should they be off course, they can get back onto it. If you go a mile without seeing a course marking, you're likely off course. And we mark our courses in the night section, or in the day section. It's just some flagging clipped to some bushes.
You may see some of these out there.
Some of those, yeah, we place some of those. And then during the night, we've got reflective tape on the bottom. It really stands out. And then our course signs have reflective tape on it, so it'll stand out. So, yeah. So most key turns will be marked with these directional signs. As you can imagine, Bend and Sisters is a popular place for other users, mostly mountain bikers, and so just being aware of other users on the trail, especially on the first 55, 60 miles of the course. During the day, you'll likely encounter some bikes. We're going to be posting trailhead signs and social media stuff to just alert them that the event is going. So
we also call the shuttle. There's some shuttles that run up at Swampy and Dutch and a few other places. Anyways, some of the popular trails, I usually call those and just alert them, let them know that the race is happening. They're usually aware of it, but we always do a call that week, a couple days before, just to let them know too when they're dropping runners or dropping bikers off.
Yeah. So having said that, we definitely would recommend no headphones, at least during the day. At night would be fine, because I don't think I've seen a mountain biker out there at night, but I'm sure that's possible. But yeah, so we prefer no headphones during the day, just so you guys can hear, if some mountain bikers flying down the trail at 25, 30 miles an hour, that you'll be able to hear them. So it's fire season, obviously. This is kind of the new trend here in the Northwest, if not the whole West. And so with that, there's no campfires allowed. And if you or crew need to smoke, I guess we recommend that you go into town, or there's other options available, like Nicorette, or I don't know, vaping. I don't know, but anyways, there's other options. So please, we don't need to start a fire. Janessa is going to talk more about it, but there's no direct fires affecting the course currently, so we don't want to start a new one. And then specifically for the aid stations that are accessible by crew, most notably 1514 Wycus Creek and Cow Camp. Those are accessed by a very short dirt road, and so just drive slowly, specifically around 1514, where the runners are going to be on the road. Nobody's going to be breaking world records here, so just make sure that you're driving slow to get to those crew accessible aid stations. And then, so everybody's safe, and you're not going 40, 50 miles an hour on a dirt road. So I think that's it for that. So there could be some trees down between, there could be trees down, at any time, but specifically part of the course was not cleared because of restrictions on the use of chainsaws because of fire, as well as the snow melt. There was a very brief window, probably just a few days, and there was a section of trail between Tumalo Creek aid station and Dutchman, so aid station 3 to 4. That's a section of about 5 miles I ran it about a week and a half, well, 2 weeks ago, I guess now, that there was about 6 down trees. So nothing huge, easy to hop over one. Had to get up on another one and drop down, but nothing too bad. So we got lucky on that.
All right, aid stations. So I had a question, I guess earlier, maybe a few weeks ago. What's going to be at the aid stations? Water, Coke, ginger ale, chips, cookies. You know, we're going to have hot food that is starting at Skyliner, so aid station 7 for the 100-mile. For the 50-mile, probably by the time you guys would get any hot food, like kind of where it just lands where you would hit it, would probably be 15, 14. Because you guys will probably blow through before then. We will have broth, chicken soup, quesadillas, pancakes, bacon, potatoes. So there'll be a variety of stuff out there for you guys. We are going to have gnarly nutrition again this year. A few people asked, limeade and tropical are the flavors. Spring Energy, variety of those. Knack waffles we'll have at most of the aid stations. I think we'll have those. So, and your typical sweet, salty type things, bananas, oranges, some fruit. So, definitely hot items and whatnot. Make sure you guys have a cup with you. We are cupless, so make sure you bring. I imagine everybody will have a bottle or something, but if you have just the hydration pack in the back, make sure you have a cup as well. A quick note on Park Meadows aid station. We didn't have any issues with this last year, but make sure that your crew does not go to that aid station. That is a not a crew accessible aid station. There's a very small spot, and we are not supposed to be having crew up there, clogging up that area. So, and last year we let everybody know that if you were found with crew up there, you would be disqualified. Since the previous year we did have people up there, no issue with it last year. So I don't expect that should be an issue this year, hopefully. So just make sure your crew is well aware they can't go to Park Meadow. Drop bags. If you look on our website, I think it might be under guidelines or rules. I can't remember. Anyways, there's some size limits on, I mean, it's basically common sense. Just be aware we have a lot of drop bags. So massive suitcases probably aren't necessary. Your crew, if you, if you've gone through and you're done with your bag, you can give it to your crew, which might be the easiest way. That way you don't have to wait till the end to pick it up. And everybody did pretty great with this last year. I felt like we did not have a lot of drop bags left, which was good. So if you have crew, and they're welcome to take the drop bag. Otherwise, because I always have this question, when are drop bags going to be returned? They do not come back until the aid station closes. So that aid station closes, the volunteers are packing up, and then they'll bring them back to the finish line. So we won't get those back until, unless something happens and one of us are out there. But let's just plan for until the aid station closes and volunteers return to the finish. Which brings us to dropping, if you have to drop.
Yeah, so if you have to drop, be sure that you inform the volunteers, and you actually see them write your name down, and then at that time you can turn in your spot. We recommend that you do not drop at Rock Creek or Tumalo Creek aid stations. That's 2-8 for Rock Creek and aid station 3. If you drop there, it's going to be a long wait. It is a long ways to get into that aid station, and it's very bumpy. The road is actually, it's not really bumpy. It's almost sandy. So it'll be a long wait unless it's a medical emergency. So just know that, if you're having a hard time at Skyliner's aid station, if you're in the 100-mile and you're,
you're looking at that big climb out of Skyliners to get up to Rock Creek, and you don't know if you're going to make it. Maybe it's time you need to, you know, think about that a little further, because it'll be a long wait. I just want to let you know that.
It does get very cold up there at night. You might be, and if you get in that situation where you are at Rock Creek, you might be better off just walking.
To Park Meadows.
And then, you might start to feel better, and then you might be able to finish the race. We've had that happen many, many times where people get up there and think they can't go on. So, and I'm sure you guys have been in that position as well. So, just know that if it gets cold and you're sitting there and you think, hey, I could maybe walk to the next aid station, that might be your best bet to get to Park Meadows. We can get to people a lot easier out at that one.
And just know that aid station will have been up there. I think the spikes will have been up there since Friday, and then the volunteers will have left probably around 5 a.m. race day. And so they're not just going to pack up and leave. They'll probably get some sleep before they head out too. So just be aware of that.
All right. So he touched on this real quick. If you do have to drop and you're wearing your spot, please do not take it with you. If you forget for any reason and you're hopefully still here because you were planning to finish the race, make sure before you head out of town, that you bring it back to us, or else we're going to have to track everybody down. So we don't want to do that. So if you drop, you can take it off and hand it to the volunteers, and hopefully they'll get it back to us. So that's one piece of that. So tracking, like I mentioned earlier, is going to be with the spots, and I'll send out some information, and you'll be picking 100 milers. We'll pick those up race morning, again, 4:30 to 5:45. We'll turn them all on that morning. That way we're totally good with batteries and stuff. And then you can just come up and we'll hand them to you. And if you need help getting it on your pack, we can help with that as well. If you're not wearing a pack, this could be a little bit challenging. If you have a shirt or something, they do work best on your shoulder so that they're pointing up, obviously. So, not so great in a pocket, but maybe just let your crew know if you're planning to do handhelds at some point. And then 50 milers will not need that. They'll be chip timed. So I went over that. Touching on what we just did as far as weather, the weather out here can be pretty warm in the afternoon. Like, it's usually cool in the morning when you guys start, and then by like 10 o'clock it heats up pretty well. And we could be looking at 70s, 80s usually, but it can be a full 40-degree swing at night. So,
I was up at Rock Creek 2 weeks ago, and it was 38 on my truck. So
just be aware that, it's August, but you're still in the mountains, still high elevation up there. It does get cold. If you're walking, make sure at a minimum you have a jacket. I would throw in some gloves, a beanie. Just be prepared, or give your stuff, if you have crew, make sure that when you leave, if you're leaving and it's night and you're going to be, dipping down into, I guess it would be like Rock Creek, Park Meadows.
Typically Rock Creek and Park Meadows are the coldest section, because that's, when you hit it at night or early in the morning. So. I'd
say every year it's been either upper 30s or like 40. So it is very cold, and then it gets nice again. So just be prepared that, make sure you guys have a couple headlamps, extra batteries as well. I meant to mention that with you. I don't think I've had too much trouble, but you never know.
So touching on the headlamps, I would recommend probably ideally for everybody to have a headlamp at Skyliners, because I think only a very few people will be able to make it to 15, 14 before dark. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. And the cutoff at Skyliners is 9 p.m. So for those that are kind of towards the back, then definitely have it. If you don't have crew, have it in the drop bag at Skyliners or Swampy. Yeah. Because I think it'll start getting dark around 8:30.
And there is some tree cover in that section, so it could be a little darker on the trail. Um, so everybody's favorite question, fire, smoke, AQI. So this is becoming unfortunately the norm here at Oregon. We have had an early fire season, and I know if you're not from here, you're kind of looking at it and you're not really sure where the fires are. We do not have any fires at this time, nor have they been this whole summer that have been impacting our course. So there are no fires currently near or on the course at all. So most likely what we've typically dealt with the last couple of years has been the air quality being mainly the main issue that we deal with as we get close to race weekend. So the last 2 years we had smoke while we marked, and then it was, blew out for race weekend, and we were able to start. The last couple weeks here, it's just sort of been moderate. It's not anything that we would cancel the race for. At this point, unless it's the AQI is 150 or above, we are not really talking about canceling it. So,
And I think there's only been maybe a few days where it's been above maybe 175.
yeah, we haven't had much here. I mean, there's been a couple days, and you have to keep in mind that if you're looking in Bend, the AQI in Bend is going to most likely be quite different than what it might be up on the course as well. So up on the course could be totally different, and different parts of the course could be, come and go. So we're just going to play it by ear and see. It's been pretty standard to be kind of just hanging at moderate and just hazy around here the last couple weeks. So that's our plan at the moment. We don't intend to cancel. We don't have an intention of canceling.
We're here today, so we're full steam ahead.
Yeah. So so that's the plan. If something were to change, stay tuned. I mean, we'll be sending out updates as we get closer to, I guess, during the race week. We'll obviously be busy marking and doing things, but if it looks like the smoke is any kind of going to be kind of an issue, we'll just be updating you as we go. So, just a quick side note on our volunteers. We have some really awesome friends, and just a great community with this race, and we just ask that if you have any issues, something comes up, that you guys come to us and not to our volunteers with that, because they're really here to help you. I mean, as we are as well. But if there's a problem that arises, just be respectful to our volunteers, as we imagine that you will be. So we always ask that. Post race, we'll have ETA at the finish line, and they'll be there in the afternoon this year because of the 50 milers. So they'll be there throughout the whole night serving food and into the next day for you guys. Some people have bought tickets, extra meal tickets for their crew and their pacers. So if you still need to do that, you can do that on Ultra Sign Up under that store link. I know I sent it out today, but if you look on there and you kind of open the drop down list on the page on Ultra Sign Up, there's a little what is it? A shopping cart? Sorry. A shopping cart. So that's where you can get the shuttle. If you need to buy extra merchandise, you can buy crew, pacer, meal tickets as well. $13. Let's see.
Okay. I found this on the web for pacer meal tickets as well, $313. Check it out.
All right. Anyways, another thing that we're going to have this year, which will be new, is Left Coast Lodge, which is based in Sisters. It's 1 mile from the. Okay, it's 1 mile from the finish line. They're going to have kind of a post race area for you guys. So those of you who may want to wash off, they have an outdoor shower. Our plan is they have a hot tub available, kind of a post-race recovery zone for those of you maybe that are like trying to get on the road. Maybe you want to rinse off, sit in the hot tub, stretch out. They do have a cold plunge. So that will be off-site from the finish line, but within a mile. So I'll be sending some more information out as we get a little bit closer about where you can go and like the times that you can go. Should be on Sunday, you know, morning to like early afternoon time frame or whatnot. So kind of the end of the race. And even if you finish at night and you want to go there in the morning and just chill in the hot tub, that's totally fine. So we'll also have merchandise available. If you didn't get something, we have sweatshirts this year, t-shirts, and hats. You can purchase those at bid pickup if you didn't get something. If you want to be guaranteed your size in one of those, I would get it at bid pickup because I can't guarantee that we will have it at the finish line. We'll also have stuff for sale at the finish line, but again, I can't guarantee what the sizes might be if you wait. So we will start answering some questions. So go ahead. If you guys have any questions, just shoot us in the comments and then we'll start answering whatever we can. Go through.
So Rick asked, has the 100-mile course GPX map changed since you downloaded on July 19th? No. So yeah, that the map hasn't been changed since it's been a few months. Will there be veggie broth too? Yes. We'll have veggie bouillon cubes, and so ask the volunteers if they think that they don't have it, but there is some. So all right. Bob asked, could you do a rundown of course changes from last year? It's probably best to do it offline, Bob. If you can maybe, it may be too confusing. Basically, we're not using flag. It's pretty confusing. It's best just to maybe take this. I can email you. It's probably best. Because I don't want to confuse everybody, and honestly, just follow the course markings.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you've run it before, it is a significant difference.
So
anybody wondering why we changed it, we can't run. Events are no longer permitted through the Bend watershed, and we used to run through there, and so we had to reroute the course. Having said that, and somebody that is local here and that runs up there, that the direction that you guys are going for some of it that we've had to change would be the preferred direction that like we would run. So I think that the changes you will, if you don't know any different, then it won't matter either way, but there'll be some good changes. I think you'll like the direction that it goes this year. The gnarly, somebody asked if it would already be mixed. So yes, it'll be in the container, and we mix it 100 calories per 12 ounces. So.
And each of the 8 stations will have ice. And then cupless, Karen asked about cupless. Does this include soup and broth? Correct, yes. So I just recently did a race and had one of those ultimate direction little cups, and it was fine with soup and broth. So will there be an opportunity to drop off warm weather gear if it's cold at the start? That's a good question, Stephen.
We haven't had too much of that. I mean, it will warm up quite quickly. You guys do climb after the road section, even up on the road, you're going to start climbing. So if it's kind of on you think I'm going to get hot pretty quick, or you shove it in your pack and you drop it off at, I don't know if we've had stuff dropped at the first aid station or not before.
Yeah.
I don't feel like people have dropped stuff there. I think most people just drop it ahead of time.
Yeah, just carry it and maybe just drop it off at the drop bag, either at your next drop bag location. That's what I would recommend. Because if you drop it at a aid station, I mean, you're welcome to. People have done it before, but we can't guarantee it's going to get back to, it's chaotic, and I'd hate to have you lose a nice jacket or, a fleece or whatever. So Yoko asks, is the 50-mile course marked for those new to the area? Yep, we mark it as if you're new to the area. So just follow the course markings, and you should be good. However, we still recommend you download the GPX file like we mentioned.
I would mention real quick that there is a significant section, a difference between the 100-mile and the 50-mile, where there'll be signs that say 50-mile and 100 this year, and they're pretty big. So again, as with any junction that you come to, just take a second and, look where you're going. And if you don't, retrace your steps if you need to.
Dustin asks, if we accidentally lose the spot tracker, are we allowed to continue racing?
Yes, yeah. I mean, if you lose the spot, we're hoping that you're still out there and you keep racing. I would just mention real quick, if you're somebody who's going to be changing in out whole packs, maybe let your crew know, hey, like as you hand in the pack, hey, remember to take that spot off and then, put it on my new pack. Just kind of, I guess, be aware. I've raced with one many times. It wasn't an issue. Never lost it. It wasn't a problem. You guys will need to return them once you cross the finish line. We'll take your spot from you, and that's it. So just as you're switching out gear throughout the night or putting on jackets and that kind of thing, just be aware. Oh, I need to grab that as well. On top of it. So.
Question from Yoko again. What time will drop bags be back at the finish? Again, so I'm guessing you're 50-mile. So those won't be back till Sunday, probably late morning.
Clayton asked, can crew buy meals there at the finish line, or do they have to have a meal ticket? There will not be extra, so you need to I'm giving numbers to ETA. So, if you think at all that they might, they will have a very limited amount. So we're not doing purchasing at the site. So what I'm going to do is, buy a meal ticket, and when you're picking up your pacer bib, you'll pick up a bracelet, and they can put it on and go get a meal through there. And that's really the easiest way we can lessen just the craziness for them. They won't have time to swipe cards and stuff because they get really busy cooking. So just make sure that you've purchased whatever extra meals that you'd like.
So I'll answer Stephen and Tim's question at the same time. So, I don't know if you guys can see these comments or not, but anyways, somebody asked about any creek crossing, streams, that type of thing. And then Stephen asked something about there was a snow bridge over a creek. So when I ran it a few weeks ago, I was able to hop a log and get over the stream. However, I think there was no snow there, but it was kind of difficult to get across that creek. But I think come race day, I'm almost guarantee you'll just be able to hop over some rocks easily and get across. If it gets warm out, so that would be the only questionable creek crossing is that one. However, if it gets hot, any water that you come across, I would definitely take the time and soak in it for at least get your hat wet or whatever. So, because some of the course can be exposed.
Yes, somebody asked, will there be vegan options for food at the finish? Yes, so for every meat option that they have, ETA does have a vegan option for you as well.
So
Colton's replying.
Yeah.
Dan.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, we're just taking a look here. Josh asked, will materials be needed to attach the spot tracker to a typical vest pack be provided?
Yes, they have a little pouch that they come in.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll send out, once I get some information from track leaders, I'll be sending out like just a little guide so that you guys have it ahead of time. So it's not like the first time that you've seen it, you know.
Joss asked if the GPX file may end up just a bit short of 100 miles. I mean, if you want to be exact, that's I
Do you want to run a couple laps? Absolutely, go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
It's your race. Yeah, it won't be 106, which
So-
it was at one point. So be grateful it's not at least an extra 10K added on.
Lisa asked about the mosquito bug population. It was kind of bad maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, but it's kind of normal. We'll have bug spray and sunscreen at each of the aid stations. So if you need it, it'll be there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it probably mainly is just at water sources possibly, but may not even be too noticeable now.
Well, there'll be vegan options for food at the
I
finish.
answered it,
Oh,
yeah.
you did? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what real food options? We'll have a lot of chips, quesadillas, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, pancakes at a few aid stations, bacon at 1 or 2, I think.
There's noodles,
broth,
and chicken noodle soup. So we've covered the
Yeah, it's
the
we usually have kind of a fair amount, cookies and whole shebang. So, Colton asks, is 4 weeks the right amount of prep for 100? It's not. Trust me, it's painful. On Andrea, sorry I missed it. Is the creek crossing you are talking about by Dutchman and Rock Creek? Yeah, it's between those 2 aid stations, correct?
Matt asked if trekking poles are allowed. They are, so you guys can use those. So poles are allowed. Just be aware of your surroundings, at any time when you use poles, for sure.
Yeah. Any other comments?
We'll wait a couple minutes if anybody has any last minute questions.
Feel free to email us if you remember something.
Oh, Andrea said she just crossed the creek that was in question and she had no issues. So
Perfect. Thank you.
that's good to know.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that creek crossing was you can get across it without getting your feet wet. So you should be able to stay. I mean, you should be able to keep your shoes dry the whole race.
For those of you who haven't been on the course or been out to Bend, if you're coming from the East Coast or something, these are very buffed out trails. It has been extremely dry here, so they're dusty. I usually do suggest that people pack some extra socks with your crew. I mean, you kind of get that gritty, sandy stuff out here. I mean, it is high desert in your socks, and they can cause blisters over time. So just take care of your feet, because it is very dry, and it does sort of seemingly like permeate the shoes and socks.
Is there a lot of rocky section on the 50-mile race? So I think the most technical sections, I guess, is between Park Meadow and 1514 aid station, and then around Peterson Ridge aid station. It's a little technical around those, and then also down by Cow Camp. It's a little technical, so So I don't
towards
know.
the finish, that going back to my dust that I was talking about, towards the finish, those trails can be very dusty. So just be prepared with your feet, and hopefully we get a little bit of rain, maybe no lightning because we don't need another fire, but just kind of be aware of that. And like Trev said, as far as rocky, and what we're talking about is like pretty fast trail, but those kind of rocks that you're tired, you're not paying attention, you don't pick up your feet, and you catch a toe and you go down. So it's not anything crazy technical, but it's enough during 100 miles that it might get you. So
Don asked, can Biz be on packs or do they need to be on the front? It doesn't matter. Just know that if you change out your pack, just be sure you get onto your next pack. Yeah, trekking poles are allowed.
Headlamp, yeah. I mean, if you're going to be entering the night, you need to have a headlamp with you.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that can do this without a headlamp, I would love to see that.
Well,
but you need to carry one, even if you're going to try to do it without a headlamp.
Well, there's no certain time. Just know that, yeah, it would be helpful to have one. So,
we had a question about gluten-free options. If you have any allergies, gluten-free sensitivities, I would pack your own stuff just to be on the safe side. I mean, you will be able to find stuff, I'm sure, but guaranteed, like chips and all that stuff, it's not gluten-free, and nothing's separated. So sure, you could get bananas and oranges, and there's definitely things there, but the bread will not be gluten-free, and
yeah.
So I would definitely pack for that if you have a specific allergy or special diet.
Yeah. Paul mentions, there's some sand around cow camp for sure, especially specifically around cow camp.
Yeah.
Most of the trails there are just very dusty, but yeah, there is some sand. Not a lot, but it's maybe a quarter mile. So
yeah, that area is heavily used by equestrian groups. So just be aware. I mean, it's not forever, but just know when you get to it. Would we recommend gators? I did see a lot of gators last year. Could be helpful. I just know it's just lots, like Colton said, lots of powdery dust, and it just sort of gets through your shoes, and just be aware of that. I would probably recommend changing socks at least once.
At least once, if not twice.
And just taking care of your feet, because that's not super fun.
How many runners are expected to start the 100? Well, we've got 290 signed up, or 280.
Yeah, for the 100, and then
we expect probably
375 total, probably with the 50.
Yeah, we expect there's always 5% that don't show up. Is there cell reception through the course for the most part? Yes. I would say the only section where you won't get cell service is at Skyliners, aid station 7. You're kind of in a valley, but once you start climbing, you can get good cell reception, at least Verizon, that's what we have. And then up around Park Meadows, it's a little Park Meadow aid station, it's a little bit iffy, but for the most part, it's decent. So.
Yeah, not too bad. I did want to mention we will have Steven and Mark out there taking pictures this year. And when you guys come for bib pickup, if you want to get your picture taken for the pre-race photo, we'll have those there at the gym in the middle school. And then also we'll be posting those for you guys to use however, afterwards, I guess, personal use.
And then we'll have ham radio operators at probably about 8 of the aid stations. So they'll be doing communications. And then we'll have adventure medics. There are medical, on-site medical staff. It's not ours, but we hire them, and they'll be roaming throughout the course. We'll have four medics kind of roaming throughout the course.
Yeah, so somebody asked about the spot and SOS emergency. That kind of ties into what Trev said, that we have adventure medics. They'll be out there, as well as ham radio, and then also, you know, another safety option would be the spot as well. Hopefully, you won't have to use any of them though. We'll probably take like 5 more minutes worth maybe of questions if you guys have any. And then just a quick reminder, let your crew know the crew guide is up on the website. I would go ahead and print that out for them just so they have like a hard copy in case they get down into Skyliners and don't have service. Most of the course they could probably have cell phone service, but it's spotty, it's swampy, and then down at Skyliners, it's non-existent. So make sure they have a copy of it. It does show them about parking at those aid stations. There's a couple of pretty important things you need to let them know for, like Wycus Creek. They need to park on the correct side of the bridge. Cow Camp, they are not allowed to pull in there. They need to park. There is a map showing where they need to park. They need to park out on the road and walk in. It's about 1/4 of a mile. So there are some important crew things, as well as Dutchman. Dutchman, I'm hoping that this year is not as this again is a little bit crazy up there, but there's no parking on the highway out there. So follow your runner, tell your crew, follow me on the track, or don't just come and sit at Dutchman. It's a small parking lot. So if you're not going to be there for 2 or 3 hours, maybe just have them go down to Swampy or Winoga and hang out until they think you're going to get close. That way we can alleviate some of the parking issues up there.
Yeah, Winoga is another snow park down the road from Dutchman, about 10 minutes. And so it's a big snow park. So maybe hang out there or something. But yeah, that
would be preferable versus just going straight there for some of those smaller ones. And then again, just make sure that they have the crew information, so there's maps that they know kind of where to park. The rest of them should be fairly self-explanatory, I would think. Let's hope. Anyways, right? For the 50-mile course, will the chip tracking have updates at the aid stations for crew? We won't have live tracking for the 50-mile. We'll probably have just live results at the finish line, is my current plan for that one. So,
porta pots versus pit toilets. So, your first real toilet or portable toilet, pit or portable, will be at Dutchman at 4. There's both at Swampy. They'll be both at Skyliners. And then portable toilets at 1514, Wycus, and pit toilets at Cow Camp. Surprisingly, I know where all the toilets are go because that's what one of the check boxes on my logistics. So anyways, or as Colton says, grab a pine cone. Yep.
Wow. Colton's keeping me entertained tonight. So new this year.
There are soft pine cones.
Apparently there's, somebody knows. I was going to say, new this year, we do have a new buckle for those of you that are in the sub 24 category. So that could be, if you're kind of on the, need some motivation out there and think you're going to be close to that 24-hour
They are
mark.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, they are pretty sweet. So, so that could be an option, for some motivation to get you kind of to the.
Yeah. Do runners have to make sure to check into the number at each aid station? Yes. Good point.
Yeah, so we should have, if you've run our races before or other races where volunteers are standing there taking your bib number, it will be the same thing, even though it's just kind of a double on even though those of you who are running the 100 will also have spot. You never know. So.
All right. I think we'll shut it down here. So good luck to you. Less than 2 weeks away from Go Day, and
Yeah, so I was gonna say, any last minute updates, we'll probably send out one more, final update race week, the weekend before, something like that. Hey, if you make a cutoff, you make a cutoff, so,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
yeah, so, I mean, we're really excited to put on this one and see how everyone, enjoys the new course, and, I think that'll be fun. There's a little bit of road in there towards the end, which I think could be welcomed. I went out and ran it I don't know, last month or something. It was kind of like, this will be good. So if you've got some legs left at the end, then you can move, which would be helpful. In that
yeah,
section.
and just know that the last, or between Wycus aid station and cow camp, for those kind of the back of the pack, and they're seeing, day 2 and in the if it's hot in the late morning, it's pretty exposed, so just be aware.
Yeah, good point. You could bring, make sure you bring your, ice bandana and stuff if you think you might be in that boat, or it looks like it's going to be hot. We'll probably kind of give an idea of maybe what the weather's looking like, with boots on the ground here as we get closer to or we get into race week, but at any rate, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great time. It's always a fun race to put on. It's a good one. It's a good PR course if you've trained properly. More than 4 weeks.
All right, thanks again, and we'll see everybody on Friday evening
Yes, remember to show up on Friday.
on the 23rd.